Good morning, everybody. It's your morning drive with Adam. I was just going to talk with you all today about a little more about faith, specifically looking at Hebrews 11:1 today. And if you have a moment and you want to open up your Bibles, go ahead and read Hebrews 11:1. And I encourage you to read that entire chapter because it all talks about who faith is and like the people before us who had such great faith, and I want to kind of break those guys down as we're going throughout the week. But I really want to dig into that verse and what does that verse actually mean today and tomorrow, to kind of just look at what does that verse mean. You know, what does Hebrews 11:1 mean? And so it depends on your translation, but the one that I have memorized is faith is being sure of what you hope for and certain of things that you don't see. And so I want to focus on that first half today, and then tomorrow I'll focus on the second half. But being sure of those things that you hope for. And the word that they're talking about there, I was actually talking with one of my friends about this over the weekend, is the idea of hope. It's not like a lot of times today it's like, I hope that'll happen. Like, we think of hope as like this thing that, you know, it's like, well, I don't really know if it's gonna happen, but I kind of hope it happens. You know, it's this idea of like just uncertainty. Like, we use it to just say like, well, you know, my grandpa's really sick, but I really hope he gets better. But like, there's this element of doubt kind of in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's this element of you know, like, I don't really know if I believe it. I want to believe it, but I don't really know. And the idea of hope there is like, it's almost like have you ever like prayed for someone for healing? It's like, oh God, I really, really hope that you heal, you know, so-and-so at our church. I really hope that you heal, you know, my cousin, but, you know, if it doesn't happen, you know, let your will be done. And we kind of pray this idea of like, you know, with like a caveat, like, just in case, God, you know, just in case you choose not to heal this person, we don't want to offend you or anything. And, you know, we want to make sure that you're still a good God, because like, there's this element of almost doubt, like, if God doesn't heal this person, then is he really God, kind of thing. But that's not like what faith is. Like, faith isn't dependent upon our circumstances. It isn't dependent upon the stuff that happens in the moment. Our faith is built in the person of Christ. And if you're at youth group last night, and we kind of talked about that, is like, our faith is built on Jesus himself, and our faith is built on a person, not an event. And so think about it this way, like, just because like, you know people who are trustworthy in your life, people who you can go to for anything, and even if they do something that is contrary to what it would have done, like maybe they did break your trust at one point, it hurts, and it takes you a little bit to build back that trust, but you ultimately still will trust them probably in the end, unless it's something really massive. The good news is our God never sins and never fails. And so we can constantly trust him regardless of the circumstances, or regardless of what we see going on, because God is so much bigger. The person of God is so much bigger than our circumstances. So that hope that we have, the certainty of things that are hoped for, that idea in Hebrew is like just that. It's a certainty. Like, we can trust that God is going to do this, and our faith doesn't need to be shaken or rocked because of the circumstances and situations of our life. And so the person of God doesn't change. His personality, his traits, his goodness, that doesn't change because we don't understand what's happening in a situation. I've had, unfortunately, many of my relatives, more than I would like, pass away throughout my life. I've had grandparents, I've had uncles, and I've had people who were very close to me pass away. And that's not it. It's moments like that. I very much remember my cousins at one point who are very very spiritual. No, they very connected to Christ, and I remember them praying for my grandpa at one point, and just praying that he would just be healed. And they're like, oh, we know, we're praying in faith and we're looking forward to the victory. We're praying that God will heal him. And, they're praying with such confidence. And when he didn't, whenever he was not healed and he ended up, he wasn't healed physically. He was healed, I would say that he was healed spiritually, and he is now, with Christ and living in a holy and perfect body. So anyway, I would say he was healed, but the idea of our faith being rocked because of that is not dependent upon that circumstance, but dependent upon who Christ is in that moment. And we can put faith in our own works and our own prayers, or we can put faith in God. And I don't know, that's the idea of faith being certain of things that are hoped for. We can have that certainty to know that God is unchanging and that God is someone who has our best interest at heart. So anyway, that's kind of the thought for today. I want you to think about that. Your challenge today is to read Hebrews 11 and just look at that whole passage and just kind of see what you thought. Comment below what your thoughts are. Let me know if you have any questions there, or if there's something that we want to cover even more. So let's go ahead and pray, and I will send you guys on your way. God, I just thank you so much for today. I just pray that everyone will just have a great day today. God, that you can help people understand what your word means by being certain of the things that are hoped for. God, that we can really meet you and know you for who you are, that we can just encounter your goodness and your grace. God, that we can just come to know you more and more every single day. And I just pray that you will be lifted up, you will be glorified, God, and that we can just praise you in all that we do, because you're a great God who deserves so much. And God, I'm just so thankful that you do hear us and you do listen to us. So God, thank you for today. Thank you for the creation that you've given us and the beauty of this world. So we're looking forward to it. We're lifting these things up to you and praying these things in your name. Amen. So guys, have a great day. We'll catch you later. Love you.